Okay, we're going to get right back into it, and we're going to take a look at a few notes that sold through the 2019 spring auction on Stax Bauer's website. Okay, they're doing the hosting of the Whitman Baltimore show, and I have three notes that sold in excess of $1 million that you're not going to want to miss. Of course, these are not currency pieces that you'll find at the bank. Maybe not. I don't know. Stranger things have happened, but if someone decide that they want to throw away, for instance, this $500 bill to get exactly $500 into their bank account today, I suppose it could happen. But we're just not going to think about that. Someone else's loss is going to be someone else's gain. And I have a feeling that something like that has happened in the most recent past. But you know, that's a story for a different time. Let's get right into it. So all these notes are extremely old. They're extremely rare. They're extremely just looking at them, I would guess that they're pretty brittle. Like I would have a hard time handling one unless it was already in a currency sleeve. But the first note that we're going to look at is this 1869. Okay, you can see the date at the top left-hand corner of the note. These are all, by the way, large-size notes. So they're much bigger than what you and I would call, you know, today's paper money. You know, your dollar bills, 5s, 10s, 20s, you know, that size. So these are considerably larger by about 60-70% in size. Okay, they're considered to be a horse blanket. Horse blanket is just a general term to describe large size notes of this type. So let me tell you a little bit about this $500 bill right here. Okay, like I said, it's 1869. For those of you that follow currency, okay, these are cataloged by Friedberg numbers. This one is Friedberg 184. All right, that's kind of like the universal categorization of each individual paper money type based on a few factors like the date, geez, what do you call it? The signatures on there, because you might have different signatures of the Treasury Secretary and you know, guys like that. So you know, you might have like the same type of bill, just you know, there are certain periods where the Treasury Secretary's changed, or you know, things like that. So they'll assign a new Friedberg number for each type, regardless if it's the same series or not. So this is a legal tender note. All right, so you can see the red seal right there, much like a more modern, kind of like the 1960s red seal, or even that 1966 $100 red seal. Okay, they're all called legal tender notes. It's just another form of currency that existed and circulated for people to spend as normal. I'm sure there was a certain reason that, you know, they decided to make a Federal Reserve note, a legal note, silver certificates. Of course, the silver certificates are able to be traded at the bank for, you know, silver, you know, Morgan dollars, various other denominations. This note right here, graded PCGS currency, so it came in a little slab thingy. Choice about new 55 PPQ. Okay, the PPQ means perfect paper quality. The paper is devoid of any sort of staining, pinholes, rust spots. This is a really nice note. It faces up tremendously, and the back is just as beautiful. The engraving work, by the way, on these notes that are 150 years old are second to none. As a matter of fact, this note is exactly 150 years old. So this one sold March 4th, okay, this past weekend, or actually today, to the tune of $1,440,000. Tell me, guys, that you have one of these hidden in grandma's notebook, just sitting there, kind of being used as a bookmark for something. How these end up coming out, I don't know. I think this note right here was like an old provenance, like an Eliasberg or something like that. So this was This has changed hand a few times through some deep pockets collectors. I would think that notes like these are few and far between. Again, it's going to be one of those things that's either going to just show up in the course of going through inheritances and old collections. But this is a tremendous note here that really doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. The engraving work is, again, second to none. That's about as fancy as you could get. And I'm ashamed of the current engravers for not stepping up to making something just as absolutely insane as this note right here. But sure enough, you're not going to be able to find this at just any bank. You might get lucky and find, a 1923 large size $1 bill, if you're lucky. But most of these young folks working at the banks nowadays will just look at this and say, oh yeah, we can't accept it because it looks like Monopoly money. But joke's on them. So at $1.4 million, this is actually the low note on the totem pole. That's crazy. So my second note sold for the exact same amount of money, $1.440 million, $1,440,000. That's a lot of money. A lot of people, spend a good deal of their life, their working lifetime, amassing this kind of money. And, there's not even a lot of people that retire with over $1 million in their retirement or their 401k. It's kind of nuts. This is a lot of money. Now, the only difference is this is a $1,000 legal tender note. This one is still in 1869. This one is cataloged as a Friedberg 186F. A lot of these Friedberg numbers you're going to be able to identify in some of those pocket price guides for paper currency. I actually have one that's by a company called Kraus Publishing. And if you're really into currency, it'd be nice to kind of get yourself familiarized with the Friedberg classification system. It's really neat. But again, this note, absolutely amazing. And as you can tell about, with the guy on the front of the note, it looks like he's, oh yeah, he's harnessing the energy of 7 figures on this one. And yeah, he blasted it wide open with a $1.4 million sale on Stack's Bowers. So again, another legal tender note, $1,000 face value. Again, you would be not very smart if you went to the bank and actually tried to cash this in for $1,000 in your bank account. This one graded out PCGS currency about new 53. So the paper quality is just okay. It probably got a few tiny little things on there, maybe an errant pinhole or maybe a frayed edge somewhere on the note, a little split, paper split, which is the reason why I didn't get any sort of PPQ designation on there. But even still, $1.4 million for a piece of paper that will last God knows how long is a tremendous sale. So the last note obviously blew by the $1 million quota that I had titled for the video, and sure enough, it almost reached $2 million. And it's an 1891 $1,000 silver certificate. Now these, you could walk into a bank and you could trade this note for a huge grip of Morgan dollars or Peace dollars. Anything that was silver, you could trade it in for $1,000 face in assorted silver. Now, is it wise, considering that this one sold for $1,920,000? That's enough money to buy a really nice home. That's enough money to buy a number of really nice homes in places like Texas and Arizona. And whoa, this is this is life-changing money right here. So if someone did find this in an old inheritance that was passed down to them, God bless them, because this is a pretty note. You don't see too many of these coming onto the market that often, and even if you did, they would command this kind of money. I swear, currency is is hot commodity right now. It's even beating a lot of its coin-related counterparts in terms of just rarity and realized sales at these big auctions. But this one right here takes the cake. So it's a Friedberg 346E is how it's cataloged. Again, 1891. This one graded PCGS currency, very fine 25. It's kind of like that middle of the road grade. It's not fancy, but it's not a rag. It's not a beater. So this one has tons of eye appeal for the grade. Probably has an errant split, or maybe the paper is just a hair thin from being used, or probably there's a little bit of soiling. You know, these pictures sometimes don't tell the whole story. If there was a pinhole, you wouldn't be able to see it. But these are the 3 notes that sold this week for over $1 million. You got to believe that there's a ton more currency, paper money out there that's sold for a tremendous amount more money. Okay, these just so happen to all 3 sell during the same day on the same auction. Not to mention, if you guys have time, check out stacksbowers.com. Take a look at all of the realized sales from all the currency. You're going to see, obviously, these $3 million plus notes here, but you're going to see a bunch of other pieces that sold for $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. There's a lot of them, which just goes to show you that paper money has never been hotter. It's kind of a king's sport. I tried getting into paper money, and a lot of the singular pieces, you know, just to feel proud of yourself of even owning something really nice, costs anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a shot. That's just for one note. So it's kind of a very elite hobby or sport to get into, but nonetheless, these are fun to look at. The art is absolutely majestic, especially, you know, these older 100 to 150-year-old large-size blanket notes. But it was a lot of fun talking about these huge $1 million trophies. I want to thank everyone for joining in on this broadcast. Hope you found it entertaining as I did. And as always, come check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And the best way that you can support my channel, bar none, is to hit that like button. You never know. You might get one of these $1 million notes in exchange because of your generosity. Be nice, guys. Well, it's been a slice. Go ahead and subscribe, share, comment. Would love to hear your thoughts on this one. And yeah, discovering together, keep hunting, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.